Children of all ages, the SSE proudly present the most entertaining droid in the world. It is me, it is R2D2. How we doing today, everybody? I hope you all are doing fantastic. So, how do I put this? Today's video is not what I initially promised you guys last week, and I do sincerely apologize for that. So, this is supposed to be our Week 10 matchup against the Lake Erie Wishy-Washies. Unfortunately, in the midst of recording everything, my laptop decided to stop recording, and then because of the way that it stopped recording, the files were corrupted, and so I was unable to save the footage for the match. And instead of like going over everything for it, I just felt that it might be in better interest for everybody involved if we went on ahead and just tried a little different of a video. So we did win last week, which allowed us to maintain our number one overall seed going into the playoffs. Game one, we were able to clinch out with late game uh, Colossal, and then game two, Luxray came in and pulled some weight. So what this video is going to be a prediction video, a little bit of a matchup analysis of round one matchups for the Great Lakes Draft League Erie Division playoffs. So let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket. So as you see here, we are Seattle Superlax is up there with a first round bye, as well as the Baltimore Pangorioles. We were the top two seeds. We will play the winner of the Mass Magikarps and the Ohio Oswats match, while the Pangorioles will play the winner of the Lake Erie Wishy-Washies and the West Coast Braviaries. So let's go on ahead and do a little deep dive into the West Coast Braviaries and Lake Erie Wishy-Washy matchup. So as you see here, I pulled out of some basic statistics. For the West Coast Braviaries, Dragapult led the team in KOs with 21, while being brought the most at 20. And the X Factor, what this is, it's not necessarily the best Pokemon in the matchup, but the one that could make or break the matchup for their team's favor. So for the West Coast Braviaries, I went on ahead and chose Terrakion. Excuse me. I chose Terrakion because it outspeeds all but Thundurus on the Wishy-Washi's roster, which makes it a great option for either a support role, maybe having something like Coaching or Taunt, or even Scary Face, or an offensive threat with Close Combat, Rock Slide, Earthquake. Either build I could see great use out of for Terrakion. If I was the West Coast Braviaries, I would go for more of a support role, as with Weezing Galar existing on the Lake Erie roster, it doesn't need its ability. But since there's no way to tell that on team preview, Hippo, the coach of Lake Erie Wishy-Washies, is going to need to make that call on how he wants to play it. And then we have for the Lake Erie Wishy-Washies, we have Blastoise that is the KO leader with 19 kills, and then you've got Thundurus that was brought the most at 17 times, and their X Factor I chose was Archeops. I chose Archeops as the X Factor in this round one matchup for the Lake Erie Wishy-Washy because it hits the entire team for at least neutral damage with one, if not both stabs. Plus, it outspeeds everything not named Dragapult on the Braviaries roster, which would allow it to get some serious damage off utilizing its base 140 attack. Also, since Lake Erie almost has, they have to bring Wheezing to shut down the abilities like Justify. Having an offensive mode couldn't hurt. So let's go on ahead and look at the left keys to victory for the West Coast Braviary. I think the big thing that they're going to want to try to get up and rolling is Dragapult. Dragapult, as you saw before, is the kill leader. They've done a lot of work with their first overall pick. Dragapult has carried this team so far. Why stop now? With Dugtrio and Weezing being the only mons to get hit by either stab for not very effective damage, you could tech around that and still have a fantastic build. The number one pick for a reason, and I expect to see it shine here. Maybe a build like Phantom Force, Dragon Dart, Psychic Fangs, Protect with Life Orb. Then enough speed to still outspeed a 252 plus Thunderous, 252 plus attack, and then put the rest in HP to help the monster stay on the field long enough to bring the pain. Another fact or key would be that Magmortar isn't the X factor as in the most important mon, or again that honor went to Terrakion, but it definitely could play a role this week, particularly with the move Feint. It can bypass break, excuse me, it can bypass and break protect, so something like, I don't know, Psychic Fang's Dragapult could KO Wheezy, eliminating neutralizing gas, and this would allow the West Coast Braviaries to use his abilities freely and cutting into what Lake Erie might have been hoping to do defensively. Plus, having a decent move pool to work with, it could be a solid answer to some of Lake Erie's quote unquote lesser threats. And hyper offensive pace needs to be maintained. West Coast Braviaries, the way that I see this team build, is all about putting that offensive pressure on, and they've got to maintain that. This team loves taking KOs left and right, turn after turn. I'm not sure if Lake Erie can keep up in the KO fest, especially if they are able to target the right Pokemon first. And then the clef keys to victory for Lake Erie Wishy-Washies. Again, they will need to maintain speed control. As long as Lake Erie Wishy-Washi's Pokemon are going first, they should be able to deal enough damage. Thunderous with Thunder Wave, Scary Phase, Archeops with Max Airstreams, maybe Dugtrio with Bulldoze are going to be key parts to this match. The correct answer isn't Dragapult. What Lake Erie is going to need to do is put the West Coast Braviaries in a situation where Dragapult's not their get out of jail free card. They need to find a consistent answer for Dragapult. Dragapult is clearly the main cog that makes the Braviaries tick, whether it's a support mon or an offensive threat. If Lake Erie can find a way to neutralize this Dragon Demon consistently, it should turn the tide in their favor. And then drop it like it's hot. So stat drops is going to be, I think, really critical here. And if for whatever reason Dragapult doesn't have Clear Body, with that's just going to add on to this. You could do Intimidate Cycling with like an Arcanine, Neutralizing Gas combo. Again, speed drops with like Scary Face, Paralysis with Thunder Wave, defense drops with max attack, with the different max attacks. Throw the kitchen sink at this team to limit its options. And then, so who does R2 think is going to win this matchup? I think it will be the West Coast Braviaries that will make it to the next round. I just think that there is just too much offense for Lake Erie to counter, and as long as the Braviaries play smart and safe, they should move into this semifinal. So the other matchup that we will go over tonight, today, this morning, depending on when you're watching this video, is the Mass Magikarps against the Ohio Ocelots. So, so for the Ohio Ocelots, we are looking at Togekiss with the being the KO leader at 15 KOs during the regular season, while also being the most brought Pokemon at 19 games that have been played in. For the Ocelots, I chose Ranunculus for the X Factor. And I chose Ranunculus because it is a phenomenal Trick Room setter in this matchup with ways to deal with most of the Mass Magikarp's roster. Maybe a build along the lines of like Thunder, Psychic, Focus Blast would cover everything with at least 2 moves that hit for at least neutral, except for Togedemaru. But Focus Blast, you're still hitting that with super effective. So if you can maybe pair that with Togekiss, follow me to help set the Trick Room, and the board should be set in the Ocelot's favor. And then for the Mass Magikarps, as you see here, we've got Celesteela as the kill leader, 39 KOs that led the entire league this season while being brought 25 times. And I chose Goodra for the X Factor here. I chose Goodra because it can wall out each and every one of the Ocelot special attackers with that insane HP and special defense stat, while also providing a potential secondary offensive option, as I expect the Ocelots to focus on Celesteela, which they should, but that may leave the door open for the lovable dragon to step up and have a big day. Potential builds, I mean, you got Flamethrower, you got Dragon Pulse. I think it gets, if it gets any sort of ground attack, should probably do good. So maybe like an AV best, an AV build, just to build even more special defense onto it. But so for the Ohio Ocelots, their clef keys to victory, excuse me. So for the Ohio Ocelots, their clef keys to win, it's always sunny in Philadelphia. Yes, I know I'm starting to get a little out there with these two. But anyways, the Ocelots have to win the weather war. As you look at both, you've got Magikarp's rain team, and then the Ohio Ocelots have a sun element. They've got to win the weather war, if not for speed control, but at least for damage output. Celesteela's back has to be killing it. There's being carried to victory, then there's being dragged to victory. And Celesteela has done that for the Mass Magikarps. Ocelots have to find a way to check the focal point of the opposition. If Celesteela gets Roloing, see what I did there? With Beast Boost, it's curtains. And quote from Mr. Miyagi, whole life have a balance. Everything be better. The Ohio Ocelots are going to want to make sure that they have a balanced attack, both in speed tiers, fast mode and a trick mode, but also with the physical and special attackers. If they are too heavy one-sided, the Mass Magikarps can wall them out, leading to an early departure from the playoffs. And then Mass Magikarps, their keys to victory: weather the storm. Again, if they can maintain good board positioning, they can stall out anything, whether it's Trick Room, Sun, Tailwind, it doesn't matter. And then, not a one-trick pony. Mass Magikarps have got to show that they are more than just Celesteela. And if they can punish the opponent if they are too Celesteela-centric, they might be able to snag out of here with a victory. And my prediction for this match is the Ohio Ottawa. I think a lot of their team could go one way or the other. Examples being like Faramosa could be physical or special. You don't know that. Um, truth be told, Togekiss. I think a hustle Togekiss build here could be very good. It's also going to throw a wrench into plan of whatever they've got going on. If if the Mass Magikarps mispredict Pokemon like Pheromosa. Pheromosa comes and they expect it to be a special build, and they try to wall it with one of their special walls. Well, that special wall is going to get broke if Pheromosa is physical. And then vice versa, if they try to wall out a Togekiss, a Hustle Togekiss, with a special defense, special wall when it's a physical. So there's a lot of right calls that the Mass Magikarps have to make, and I feel that the Ohio Oshawotts might be able to be put in a situation that forces too many of those. And again, a broken watch is right twice a day, but it's also wrong the rest of the time. And there's also like Riolu that manual weather, and I think the Ohio Oshawotts have a better Trick Room mode with Ranunculus Factor. So let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket. So again, I predict that the Ohio Oshawotts will be playing Seattle Superlax round 2, while the West Coast Braviaries will get their rematch against the Pangorios of Baltimore in round 2. So next week we will go over those two our round 2 matchups and predict the championship. And then I also have a exhibition match scheduled with the Ninjards, who is the only team we did not play this season. So expect that video coming out as well, and hopefully we'll be able to get back to more of the traditional R2 VGC videos. Again, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I do appreciate it. Or this morning or this afternoon, whenever you're watching this video. If you like what you heard, smash that sub button, tickle that like button. Make sure to ring that notification bell so you know when I post videos. But without further ado, guys, I'll see you all next time. Bye.